Okay.
What's up, fellas?
Same old.
Living it up.
What do you get when you have salt and a Nerf gun?
A fly killer.
And the salt Nerf gun. Assault. You get it?
Okay.
All right. Roll that beautiful intro that we got going on here in 3, 2, 1.
Liberty or Death podcast
with your host, Twisted Josh,
where our motto is facts and common sense over your feelings. No. Why do you gotta say that for?
Yo, what's up, everybody? What's going on? All right, we got the green light.
Just trying to survive.
Yeah, man, always. All right. Okay, everybody, meet my analyst, Mr. Drunken Senpai.
Up.
3 rows. And
What's
back
happening?
again. And back again. Trigger. Yeah, man. So how's everybody doing today? Doing all right?
Living the dream.
It's Friday, brother.
It is that.
Okay. All right. We're gonna get to it now. So let's go. Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah.
What
man.
you got for us?
Okay. I really didn't want to put this full on, man. Okay. First and foremost, the Second Amendment. What does it mean to you guys as far as, what do you guys think about the Second Amendment? Is it a privilege or is it a right?
It's absolutely a right.
100% right. You have the right to defend yourself in any way, shape, or form, by any form or by any means necessary from anybody that tries to do you harm.
There you go.
We roll.
Yep. I mean, it's plain and simple, right? I mean, you would think that, something so, it's written in stone. I mean, you can't mess it up.
It doesn't have
right?
to be written. It doesn't have to be written. It's a God-given right. You've got the right to protect yourself with whatever means necessary. No man has the right to tell me how to protect myself. No man that walks around with people with guns, protecting them at all times, definitely doesn't have the right to tell me what to do with my life or how I protect my family. So,
Right.
Sure.
yeah, it's not a man's right to tell me what I can and can't do.
Cheers to that.
Yeah. So when you guys hear this, what it says in the Constitution, the Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
That's a fact. And if you think about April 1775, when Paul Revere made his infamous midnight run to warn the colonial militia that the British forces were approaching. The redcoats are coming. The redcoats are coming. What was the militia then? It wasn't the army. It wasn't the police. It was a bunch of farmers, blacksmiths, and just random people who wanted to have an American nation and no longer live under the tyrant rule of King George III. And that's where a lot of people drop the ball at, is when it comes to the militia. And also, the people who fight against the Second Amendment, they get the whole thing wrong. They argue about the AR-15. Well, it doesn't specify what kind of firearm you're allowed to have. It just says you can have any firearm you want to. The problem is so many politicians who are attorneys and know loopholes in laws are the reasons that they've created all these ridiculous laws that are quite, in fact, unconstitutional. Here in Colorado, back in 2012, after the Aurora movie theater shooting, a guy by the name of James Holmes walked in and he shot everybody with a shotgun. But everybody just talked about the AR-15, the Bushmaster 5.56 that he had in his car. He shot everybody with a shotgun. He didn't use that Bushmaster. And the state of Colorado actually passed a law that said you could not have a magazine over 15 rounds. It's a law that nobody enforces. There's not one law enforcement officer that enforces that law. I can go and buy a 30-round magazine for any of my firearms that I want to.
Well, I mean, I just don't understand. Like, it doesn't even matter if you have a 3-round magazine or anything like that. I just don't understand why you think that's going to be a thing, because all they're going to do is just keep loading themselves up with these magazines. And it's very, very, once you train with it, it's very quick to just shoot them, pop another one in, shoot, pop another one in. You what? Waste half a second reloading?
That's it. It's a feel-good law. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And it's an infringement.
And I'm going to go ahead and say I am a 2A absolutist. Okay, a well-regulated militia. They wrote militia because we had no standing army at that time. It was a ragtag people just like us that won our independence from Britain. That's why they said militia. Being necessary for the security of a free state means nobody can come and mess with us in any way, shape, or form as long as we have our guns. The right of the people to keep and bear arms, not bear arms as in like animals, all right? The right of the people to keep and bear arms. They didn't say pistols. They didn't say muskets. They didn't say pellet guns. They didn't say anything because they knew weapons would change over time. The right of the people to keep and bear any arms necessary to defend themselves shall not be infringed, which means every single law, even the ones we agree on, are unconstitutional.
Absolutely. Right. I should be able to have Abrams at all 3 points of entrance of my property, man. Like,
right.
If I can afford it, I should be able to have one there, you know? Like,
well, it's not even related to property either. I mean, you know, we are a constitutional carry state now. As at the beginning of this year, you no longer have to have a permit to open carry or conceal carry at all.
Carry, yeah.
So, you know, it's I live in the South anyway. And, you know, 3 Rows can attest to this. It's just like you look at somebody and you already think, well, they have something on them. You know, whether they do or don't, you already expect them to have something on them. Yeah. So there's no reason, you know, most of us, especially the ones in the South, because of, you know, hunting and things like that, there's no reason that we should expect anything different because, well, anybody could be packing at any time and you never know. And it's their right to do so. But it keeps people in check here. A lot of people in check here.
Every school around us has a sign out front at all entrances of the school that says, hey, our teachers are packing. Our teachers will not tolerate anything. If you know what I mean, saying basically that we will shoot you if you come into our school with a gun. And I mean, like every one of the schools around us have that. So I love it. Like my kids don't go to public school. They go to they're homeschooled. And then they go to a school with other homeschooled kids two days a week. But I do love that our public schools have that around here. And we also have resource officers on campus to walk around and just make sure that the kids are safe. So, yeah.
Yeah, we have that too, as a matter of fact, the Nashville incident. Yeah. I don't know where you're going with, so I got to keep a little bit of a low profile with this, but the Nashville incident, you do realize that with that, in that, like that person targeted more schools. Mm-hmm. They went to another one, or they went to the first one and decided not to go there because there were armed officers on campus. The only reason they targeted that one was because that officer that was in that area that day had called in sick. And there was nobody around to defend. That was the only reason that trans individual shot that school up.
The same thing happened here in Colorado. In my city, in Colorado Springs, there was a trans individual who had a manifesto. I think it was a dude that was turning into a woman. He had the manifesto. He was going to go around. He was going to shoot 2 schools. They were both in the north end of town, and somehow somebody figured out what was going on and they put a stop to it. They talked about, the media talked about this one time, and then when all the information came out on this manifesto, it got thrown in the trash, and nobody talked about it anymore. So
thing with the Nashville.
Colorado ATF and Colorado Bureau of Investigation actually did a good job stopping this individual, but because he was a trans, nobody wanted to talk about it beyond that.
Yeah, it doesn't fit the agenda.
Exactly right.
Yep.
Well, see, the Nashville thing was the same way. You know, they said, oh, well, there's a manifesto with this. Well, let's see it. No, it's part of the investigation. We'll release it soon. Okay, fine. And then they're just like, okay, well, we're done with our investigation. And everybody's like, where's the manifesto? We'll release it next week. And then nothing.
Nothing.
And literally the day after, they're down there making a new holiday and shit for them. Like,
yeah.
I mean, fuck, dude. Not on TV talking about the families and the kids. And I didn't even go there. Like, that shit.
Kamala Harris did.
Yeah, to talk about the fucking new holiday for the trans.
Yep.
You know, like, this is bullshit. That had me so mad. Like, so mad. I even got off of social media for about 2 weeks after that because, dude, like, I can't hold my tongue. Like, I don't want the FBI here.
I got kicked off of Instagram for that. Like, oh God, what's that dude's name? I like him, but he enraged me because he was talking about the Tennessee 3, and then he got onto the shooting and everything. The redhead dude who just like screams into his camera all the time. I forgot his name. TikTok, Instagram, same thing. But he said something about that, and I just went off. And I was just like, I said some things I shouldn't have said. I'll admit that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they were just like, nah, you're never coming back on Instagram again.
Bruh. Wow. I mean, it's getting so bad that where we're like, you know, we're taking this amendment here and we're like, well, I'm sorry, the left or anti-gunners or whatever you want to call them, they're taking every little freaking like word. Okay, infringed. Well, no, I'm sorry, regulated. Well, regulated would, well, you know, regulated is what, you know. I mean, you would think,
What's regulated?
Yeah, exactly.
Training.
Like
being trained, understanding how your firearm works, the use of it, and knowing not to point that barrel down range unless you are ready to pull that trigger in any way. Definitely don't put your finger on the trigger unless you are trying to kill.
Yeah,
that's well regulated.
Yeah, don't be an Alec Baldwin. Can I say that online?
Jesus.
Idiot, bro.
Like, I don't even understand that. Like, the dude's not even being charged, which it still makes me mad with that. But I don't even understand what makes you just like, you get in a fight with somebody, you have a so-called prop gun in your hand. Like, the only time it was fine for us to play with toy guns and even point toy guns at each other is when we were kids, you know, and then we started learning firearm safety and everything. And then you understood the difference between a toy gun and a real gun, and, you know, things like that. But what makes you just pick up a gun that's supposed to be a mock of a real gun while you have real guns in the area and just point and shoot? Who does that?
The story that he gave for the so-called accident was absolutely ridiculous because it was a Pieta 45 long Colt. It's a single action firearm. It's a revolver. So there are several safety mechanisms along with that firearm.
Yeah.
You pull the hammer back, it locks. It will lock 3 times. It also has a safety on it. You are not going to just, if the hammer is collapsed, you're not going to pull the trigger and fire off a round. You have to cock the hammer back and then pull the trigger. And of course, the safety has to be off in order for that firing pin on the hammer to make contact with the round.
Yep.
But nobody wanted to talk about that. So I don't care what excuse he gives. He purposely pulled the trigger while pointing it at that lady.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way to get around it. So why does he get off free? Is it because he's got money? He had to pay somebody.
Oh yeah.
was a movie. What was it? 15, 20 years ago, where Brandon something I can't remember. They were filming a Bruce Lee movie or something where the dude got shot.
That was The Crow. The Crow 2,
Yeah.
I believe.
So like,
Correct.
why would that ever happen again? Like, why on set? Why would that ever happen again? Like, makes no sense. If I could remember that, and I was young when that happened, like, they fucking like it just doesn't make sense, man.
Dude, we have a whole new generation who doesn't know who Ozzy Osbourne is.
Absolutely.
Wait, what?
He was.
You don't know about that?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Dude, no. He did a song with, who was it? Post Malone?
Yeah.
And everybody went nuts, and they're just like, I don't know who this Ozzy Osbourne character is, but he's going to be big.
He was so sweet. Post Malone was so sweet for letting this old man sing with him, and that he was going to be so big now that Post Malone sang with him. Like, so yeah.
Y'all, I mean, Crazy Train plays everywhere, and y'all don't even recognize the voice.
Sharon.
Sharon.
Dude, when COVID started, I made a meme of Ozzy Osbourne, and it said, "I bit the head off of a bat. Quit acting like a bitch."
So, also too, I was looking in, of course, researching and stuff like that. Not only are government officials, well, some of them are, they're violating our Fourth Amendment. It's the right of the people to be secured in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be. Oh, I didn't share this tab. There you go. Awesome. Yeah. There you go. Bingo. Democratic states. They're violating those people in the states, the Americans in the states, their rights.
Not in New York anymore.
I mean, like I brought up earlier, though. I mean, the Supreme Court just said the gun laws in New York are unconstitutional, so it's gonna get bad there.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
Let the trash take itself out.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I'm sick of it, man. Like, yeah.
Well, I got friends in New York and love them to death, but there's only like one or two that actually pay attention to what's going on over there. And even then, they'll hit me up once in a while and just be like, "Hey, what's going on?" Because I'm more informed than they are about this. And I got others that just, they don't pay attention to anything, but yet they still vote for it over and over and over again, and they actively avoid it. If I try to talk about these things, they get mad at me, and I'm just like, what do y'all want me to do? You want this? You live
in Florida now,
right? Well, I mean, they complain about everything that's going on over in New York, but they won't listen to anything that's actually happening, and they still vote for the same thing over and over again. And why? Why even try?
Man, I went to Massachusetts last October, and they called it Taxachusetts everywhere I went. And I'm telling you, like, I went to buy a can of snuff. Man, it was $20 freaking. It was like $19, and like. What? Everything is so high tax. It's insane. A pack of cigars like this, here they're 2 for 99 cents. I couldn't get them for less than $5 there. They can't even have the tag on it that says 2 for 99 or anything like that on there because they can't sell them for less than a certain price, they said. I'm like, just wow, it's just insane. The home of where we threw the tea in the river literally is one of the highest tax places in the United States. It makes no sense.
No taxation without representation.
I'm walking the Freedom Trail, and there's pride flags and Black Lives Matter flags on the church on the Freedom Trail. Like, I'm just like,
really? That's mind blowing because that's the place of the actual Tea Party, the Boston Harbor. How is that even possible? Did they really forget?
Walking by the graveyards of Paul Revere and all these guys, man, and then across the street, you're looking up and you're seeing the rainbow flag and Black Lives Matter on a church that was built in the 1700s. I mean, what a disgrace, man! Like,
I mean, what do you expect, dude? They were pulling down statues left and right because somebody owns slaves.
Yeah, Democrats.
Yeah, exactly.
Try that
Exactly.
Here's,
down here.
here's the messed up thing, though.
It didn't work.
Here's the messed up thing. I would actually talk to these people who are just okay with this in my area. They're like, yeah, you should pull them down. It's, they own slaves, reparation. Oh, okay. What do you want to replace those statues with?
Yeah.
What black figure would you replace those statues? Everybody.
Joyce Floyd.
No,
Floyd.
no. Every single person named rappers.
Oh, really?
wow.
You don't even know your own history.
Why
You
not
can't-
O.J. Simpson?
There you go.
He killed two
Perfect.
white people. Let's go.
You can't tell me George
Yeah,
Washington Carver. Nobody said Martin Luther King. Everybody was like Biggie, Tupac, all these other people. I'm just like,
The surface dwellers.
that's what you want? And you guys don't even know your own history yet. You want, oh God, I'm not even going to get into that because that's a
Yeah.
little bit too far. But,
Yeah. Okay.
but yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
That's a great subject for another day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And, I mean, not only violates our Fourth Amendment. I mean, right? I mean, look at the 14th Amendment.
Well, the Fourth Amendment, it's this presidency has been the only presidency that I have looked back onto for our entire existence that has violated every single one of the first 10 amendments of the Constitution of the United States, known as the Bill of Rights. There are people who don't even know that, and that disturbs me. But no other president up until now has violated all 10 in just
Yeah.
a few years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, even with the COVID lockdowns, that violated the whole quartering soldiers because, well, you had soldiers that weren't paying their rent or their mortgage because the government told them they didn't have to.
Which actually was
In
the
peacetime.
case of Chisholm versus Georgia. That's where we got that case. And the
Right.
10th Amendment is actually the separation of the federal government and the state. And the case of Chisholm versus Georgia, and the Supreme Court actually ruled in favor of Chisholm, and the federal government still has yet to pay Chisholm, even though that man has been dead for 100 years. They have the state of Georgia is still in debt due to exactly what you just brought up.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's look, I fight with these people all the time about this. Like during the lockdowns and everything, most of the blue states are showing a huge deficit. They're showing a huge budget problem. Most of the red states are showing a surplus, and they keep bringing up, oh, the COVID funds. Guess what? The states got them,
Yep.
even if they didn't want them, and they're not allowed to return the money.
Yep.
So what do you want us to do with that money? Oh, we're
Well-
talking about giving it back to the people and doing this and doing that, and then you're mad because you don't return the money that you can't return the money for. Like, come on now.
And they also complain about the people who took advantage of the system and rode the unemployment train for as long as they could. People are barely just going back to work, and they're crediting this Biden administration with creating new jobs when everybody, their unemployment finally ran out, and they started going back to work.
Yeah. He got the community noted hard on Twitter for that.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Everybody's like, wait, this isn't true? Hold on, what?
A lot of people are getting educated and like, oh, I told you about this, but you called me a conspiracy theorist. I got it right again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
I mean, have
ahead.
we lost one yet? I have that question. Have we lost one yet?
About 3%. About 3%.
We even said when AOC said that gas stoves make you stupid, we
Oh my
said they're
God.
coming for your gas stoves. 6 months later, they're coming for your gas stoves.
Literally. I mean, New
Yeah.
York, would they just ban in New York fucking pizza ovens because they use too much? Like,
Yeah, that'll
I heard
shut down
that.
the entire state of New York for that one.
New York, bro. Like, you're going to
Wow.
ban pizza in New York?
Yeah,
Like, fuck out of here.
the birthplace of pizza for the United States.
yeah,
Oh, God.
exactly. Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah, I mean,
What's going on here?
I mean, it's just a lot of freaking, because I mean, I don't even know how to describe it anymore, man. It's just, I'm like over here doing the research, and I'm like, wow, really, all these freaking violations of our Constitution, but, you know,
Half of this you don't even have to do research, man. You just have to have a little common sense to
well,
know
that
that
too, yeah.
it's bullshit. That's propaganda.
But
Like, just
go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
I'm just saying, yeah. I mean, it's just propaganda and it's bullshit. It's just to push a narrative. And like, if you have any type of common sense, you know the Constitution at all, you know that it's you don't have to do research. It's written in plain letters. It's written in cursive. I know a lot of them can't read it, but I mean, like you said, you got it pulled up and you know, I mean, you don't have to read it in cursive.
I mean, that's
Right.
that's.
We'd love it
I don't
to.
even understand how these people aren't even being trained in cursive anymore. That's not even in school curriculums anymore.
It's wild.
Honestly,
It's
Like,
wild.
I grew up, if you printed with just print, if you were writing things in print, that was points off your score.
Yeah. I had a calligraphy class. I took that all the way up until my junior year of high school.
look at the stats up in Michigan and some of these schools in Chicago. Like 90% of them in 10th, 11th grade can't even fucking read. Can't read. Like they can't read. They can't write full sentences in 10th and 11th grade, man. Like they're not even making it through 12th grade. It's insane. Like we have all they are going to school for is to be trained. That's it. They're not teaching them anything that they need to know anymore. They don't care if they know the things. They're just pushing them and pushing them and pushing them and putting whatever they want to in their heads while they're there, while they can keep them there.
Yeah.
Like they're not teaching them. They don't care.
Well, even when I was in school, like, it was hard for me to understand why people couldn't catch on to the simplest things. Like, for me, I couldn't understand why 2 + 2 in your brain does not equal 4 immediately, right? And it just bothered me for so long. And then my parents, I started noticing my parents were kind of messed up people. So I started using the law as a way to get away from my family. So I'd get sent off into state's custody. And in state's custody, I'm learning things like physics, calculus. But when I come back into public schools, they got me learning how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide whole numbers again in the 10th grade.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all wonder why I'm getting in trouble a lot. Come on. I get my work done in 10, 15 minutes, schoolwork and homework, and I'm sleeping the whole time.
It does them no good if they actually teach you stuff that you're going to use. Like most of the schools, like when I was in school, we had a welding class, we had a mechanics class, we had it was an auto shop, we had welding. I'm trying to think of all the different programs we had. We even had, like, they had barber school, they had cosmetology, like they had all this for people to learn while we were in school. Like, so when you got out of school, like the kids were already that were in barber school, in cosmetology school, they were going to college and getting credited classes for college. So when they got out of high school, they already had a career. Like they're not doing this in school anymore. They don't want you to know anything other than liberal ideology, man. Like, but
Exactly.
feelings over facts. That's all they want you to do.
Yep.
It
Exactly.
does
I mean,
them
yeah,
no
that's
good
definitely
if
a
you
thing.
leave school and you're smart. If you know the Constitution and you know how things work, it does them no good whatsoever.
Yep. Nope.
You got to know your basic rights. You don't have to be an attorney to know your basic rights of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights.
I hate attorneys now.
And I've always said that attorneys find loopholes in laws, defense attorneys and prosecutors alike. And they just, that's what they've been trained to do. They find loopholes. So I've always said that when an attorney runs for office, nobody should vote for him because they start creating all these loophole laws, like the red flag laws. And I don't know if it's in every state. It's here in Colorado. I know it's in California, but they lead the charge with that sort of crap. But the red flag law is 100% unconstitutional. It goes against your Fourth Amendment right, against your Second Amendment right. It goes against your First Amendment right. It is absolutely destroying the Bill of Rights and your constitutional rights. And if we were to teach kids in high school from middle school, 6th grade, all the way up until 12th grade, basic civics, basic knowledge of the Constitution, we wouldn't have the problems that we have today. And we wouldn't have red flag laws. We wouldn't have limits on ammunition and certain magazines and what firearm you can own. So to fix all this, it's going to have to start in the schools. We have to focus on that, not just on our politicians, because they're not representatives. They're just politicians.
My daughter's in 4th grade. She's going to 5th grade this year. She already knows the Constitution. She knows our Bill of Rights. She knows the 50 states. She knows, like, I'm teaching her stuff that she needs to know, like, mentally. Like, she knows how to do math. And, like, I didn't use, like, I'm a plumber. I use a lot of math. That's all I use, really, from what I learned in school. And the math that I'm using now, like, when I'm doing big commercial jobs and I'm having to come volume and stuff for different things, like, it's not even stuff they taught me in school. I'm using trigonometry and stuff like that I didn't really have to get out of school. But I had to learn it to get my master's license as a plumber. Even if I don't do those jobs and I'm not doing commercial work, if I'm just working on houses, I still have to know that math and those formulas to come up with these things so I'm not getting people sick. And so, like, I think math is important. I think, science is important. I think history is very important.
Hell yeah.
And so I work on a lot of that kind of things with her, and that's what my wife's been working with her. And these kids need to know our Constitution. Our kids need to know that my daughter, I'm like so proud, guys, because my daughter is such a conspiracy theorist. It's not really, she just questions everything. And she has her entire life. So she's been able to talk. If she wanted to know something, it was what, when, where, how, why. And then she wanted me to break all that down too. She wants to know how everything works. And, my daughter, I've got 25 nieces and nephews. I've got a big family.
Jesus.
I've got one of my sisters is married to a black guy, so I've got half black and white nephews. I've got some nephews and nieces that are half Mexican and white. Like, we have a very big family, and we're mixed, like, huge. And, when all this come up in 2021 and everybody's locked down and they start pushing all the racial divide and stuff, my daughter was 8, and she come up to me and she asked me, she said, "Dad, is Devin and Tyler and Matthew and Jaden black?" And I said, "Well, their dad is half black and their mom is white," but she didn't even know. Like, she thought that they were just darker. I'm as dark as most of my nephews because I get so dark during the summer when I'm working outside. Like, she had no clue.
She had no idea.
I never taught any of that to them.
That right there is proof that stuff is being ingrained in their heads.
Correct.
We wake up every day. We're not looking at skin color until somebody starts pushing it on us. Our teachers across the country, politicians across the country. You don't hear about racism until it's an election year. Now, you get ready, because here in a couple of months, you're going to hear about all the terrible racist stuff going on across the country and how the Second Amendment is racist and the Constitution is racist, which we hear constantly. Every 4th of July, we have to hear that. But it gets worse. You watch. The election year is going to pick up. We got primaries picking up, and everything is going to become racist.
Somebody's got to get beat. Somebody's got to get shot. Something's got to happen for them to do it. But that was the whole thing. It broke my heart because, like I said, I've never taught my kids anything about race. Like, I never told them your Uncle Philip's half black. His dad was black. I never told them that. They didn't care. She's never asked. And so when she came in and she asked me, like, are my nephews or my cousins black? And she's like, because she just heard, she's like, well, why do black lives matter? Why do they matter more than white lives? And I'm like, babe, they don't. Like, everybody's lives matter. And, like, it broke my heart to even explain this to her because she's seen a video that's talking about this and this and this. And I'm like, man, I never taught my daughter race. Like, we're all the same. Like,
exactly.
She never even asked me why her cousins were darker than her. So I never explained it to her. Like, she never cared. So I don't know. It just pisses me off. The stuff, like you said, they're indoctrinating them every direction they can. On TV, on the videos, in school, in the books. No matter what you do, you have to pay attention to what they're reading, what they're watching, because It doesn't matter. You could be on kids' YouTube, and they're still watching Peppa Pig videos talking about raping kids and stuff. Like, you can't trust anything anymore. You have to sit there and watch it with them, or don't let them watch it at all if you care at all. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, even with Dora the Explorer, she was, talking about how in one episode, I wish I could find it again. They took it down apparently, but in one episode, she was talking about how calling not Puss in Boots, but the monkey dude that's with him, the Boots dude, Boots, yeah, they were talking about how calling him a monkey is racist.
Oh my god!
And I'm just like, what?
It was an actual monkey.
Yes, it's an actual monkey, but calling him a monkey is somehow racist. Breathing is racist, dude. Look it up. Google breathing is racist, and you will find articles that will say this.
I like Southern food. Does that make me a racist? Because am I placating to the black culture because I like Southern food?
No. Just like somehow your veins are racist because they give the cholesterol. That's a thing too.
yeah.
Oh shit!
What they say is, if you say 2 + 2 is 4, and there's no other answer for it, you're racist. Like, because
there's a thing called 2.3 and a thing called 2.2, and you add them together, you get 2.5. But there's a reason why that decimal exists.
Yep, exactly. So, so now we have it here. All right, Biden. I don't know if you. Well, this is actually a year ago. Biden addresses the nation on gun control. So now we're hitting on gun control now.
Oh, every day.
Yep, it is, and we'll see what
like you were saying about the movement on race. Get ready for more crimes to happen with guns, because as the election comes, that's what they're going to push.
That's it.
I mean, be ready for a couple more mass shootings, and I mean, it's sad that people seriously fall for this shit anymore. Like,
exactly.
They can't see. Yeah, people really may be dying, but it's still a false flag. It's still planned. It's still, and if you pay attention to all these actors that you see in previous false flags, and I mean, you remember the the Sandy Hook dad that went on?
Yeah.
That was literally laughing before the interview. I mean, seriously, they came on camera laughing, and then just went to crying next thing. Just,
that was one of the parents of one of the slain children. That was a parent.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't, if one of my kids gets shot, there's nothing funny to me. There probably won't ever be anything funny to me.
You're not even going to get me on an interview the next day, man. Like, much less you're not going to see me laughing, and then once I'm on camera, start crying and like.
Right.
He was acting. He was straight up acting. He was a crisis actor, and you could never convince me that I'm wrong about that.
And here's the frightening part: is Alex Jones was actually sued over that, and he has to pay billions of dollars over questioning the Sandy Hook narrative. And he pointed out everything that you did, and the only reason they did that is to shut us up about it, so that we don't ask questions.
So we don't have questions. Yeah, that's they go after someone huge like that, so that the small guys like us shut our mouths and stay in line. I don't care.
Right.
I'll never shut my mouth.
No.
Never shut my mouth.
I've been kicked off every platform but YouTube and Rumble. I don't care.
Yeah. When you get banned and shadow banned and shut off of every one of these platforms, I tend to trust you a little bit more.
Like 3 rows over here. This dude can't keep nothing going.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, man, I feel that pain. After having 200,000 followers on TikTok, getting murdered, and having a hard time just getting over 40,000, I feel that pain. It's real. That's real tough.
I think at one time I had 170, 180, and then I got axed. And then I made my way to 120 and got axed. Made it to 70, got axed. And then made it to 40, got axed. And then after that, man, it was like I could get up to 3,000 followers. Now, I got a new phone. I took 6 months off, right? I got a new phone, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to get on TikTok and play around a little bit. They literally kept me so shadow banned about a month. They kept me on for about a month. I had about 5,000 followers. Every one of them was people that I liked. I really liked, and I used to talk to a bunch, so I really liked it. It was cool. But they kept me so shadow banned, and then I wasn't making strong videos. I was just talking to my friends basically, and then I made one video, and then it was like account gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got on, made another account, made one video on there, and within 8 hours that account was gone. The next day I made another account, turned on my VPN, and put it on a different Wi-Fi, and within 8 hours it was still canned. So I'm so over the censorship. Like,
Oh, yeah.
all I do is get on there and give my opinion. Like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Like, I don't see how my face or my voice is that dangerous to that app to where they just, I don't get it.
Well,
And
it's
that's
because
not-
you made waves, just
hundreds
like
of
you
people.
and Patrick, Packing Patriot, and what was the other one, Mr. Freedom Stick.
Yeah, I mean,
Dude,
Donnie,
y'all don't know
Dad,
how many times I followed your accounts over and over again. Somebody would post it, "Hey, he's back," and I'd pick it up, and in an hour or two, look, you're gone.
I would
Like,
Like
remember
constantly.
people would go to follow me, and I would see that they were following 10,000 people, and then they would message me and say, "Hey, man, I had to go unfollow 7 of your old accounts to where I could follow you again." And I'd be like, "Oh shit."
Right. And Janine 7303 in the chat there. I believe it's face recognition. That is exactly what it is, but it is not also face recognition. It's voice recognition. Because I had an account, my first Voice of the People account. The only thing I would do was take screenshots of articles and post them with a little bit of music. That was it. And I started to gain a good little bit of following and seeing people red pill themselves because they'd look at this and be like, "Hey, this article he posted over here said this." Now they're saying what? And I was just like, yes. I popped in one time, put my audio, put my voice on there one time. My account was nixed.
That's all it takes.
Yep, that's it.
I've received messages on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter of people telling me that I actually opened up their eyes to the things that were going on. That actually made me feel good. And that actually brought me back to keep doing it, to keep going.
Yep.
There you
But,
go.
I've got one right now, and I think I haven't even cracked 1,300 people, which is cool. It is what it is. But they've definitely got that facial recognition going on, and they're shutting everybody down. So if they see your face, they can't take you down because you haven't made a violation. But they're going to shadow ban you because they know that you're going to throw out some truth to them, and it hurts their narrative. It hurts their bottom line.
Yep, definitely.
And like you said, you don't care about that you only got 12 or 1,400 followers on there. It was never about the followers. It never has been about the followers. I don't give a crap about how many people follow me. I care about likes because that means that many people saw it, liked it. I care about shares because that means that 200,000 people shared this video. That means that 200,000 extra people got to see this video that wasn't going to see it in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only reason I've ever cared about followers is because if you have 50 to 100,000 followers, your video is going to at least reach 20 to 40,000 people in views before it gets shut down. If it does good with that 20 to 40,000 people, then it's going to get seen by 100,000. If it does good with the 100,000, then it's going to get seen by 500,000. And then you're going to make it to 1 million. And then we're making more views than the nightly news every night on TV by one video that you made in your freaking, in my shop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm on my camera, on my phone, making videos about what's going on in the world, and I'm getting more views than CNN is on a nightly newscast. And I'm not boasting about it. I'm not. I feel humble. Like, I feel like this is freaking awesome. 500,000 people saw this video and got my message and shared it with people. And that's the only reason I've ever liked having followers, because my message gets out to who I want it to out. Like, I don't care about followers. I don't really care about likes, but I do, because that means your shit's getting shared and your shit's getting viewed and your message is getting out.
Yep. I cared more about the views than the followers. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Telling you, like, hey, man, you opened my eyes. And when I would be on TikTok lives, man, and I would have trolls coming in there, like running their mouths, talking shit, and stick around and then like message me afterwards and be like, bro, like, I just friended you, like you were talking some real stuff, man, and like I'm going to watch your videos and you've opened my eyes about a lot of things, and I'm going to go research this and I'm going to go research that, and it makes you feel good to know that somebody that was on the fence or somebody that was leaning the other direction even listened to something that you said, and because you can put it in a manner that makes sense, that's you're not yelling at people, you're not degrading people,
Right.
you're talking in your heart, and you're
You preached
talking
it.
about stuff that matters to you, and
You
it
touched it.
changes, and
Yep.
it's awesome, dude. I love it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
There's
And I'm not-
no greater feeling than actually reaching somebody's mind and having them go and look at everything and verify everything that you said, and then
Correct.
go, "Holy shit, I just got red pilled," and and that's probably something that's a term that the left absolutely hates. You got red pilled, and
Yeah.
they go off onto a tangent about it, but. It's a good way to put it. I red pilled you. I woke you up to the reality of what's going on. And
Yep.
whether we get censored or not, we can't stop. We cannot stop.
No.
Whether it be the Second Amendment, any type of shutdown, vaccines, anything like that, we have to continue to fight to reach these people and continue to touch these people. If we reach 20,000 people with one video, those 20,000 people can spread off to 20,000 people. And that turns into what, 4 million?
Yep. And
Just grow it.
you know what with what you're talking about makes total sense. And my neighbor, he's from Michigan. He moved to Florida about 10 years ago. His kids moved to Texas because they work at Lockheed. So he voted for Trump the first time and the second time. But he was convinced because the news told him that January 6th was an insurrection and this, that, and the other. And so one day we're talking and he was like, man, what's your Instagram? Because he saw a video on Facebook that I posted and with Chad Collins, my old radio host, Chadio. Anyways, and so he called me the next day. He's like, man, I've been watching your Instagram videos and I watched the one about January 6th and all the FBI plants and this, that, and the other. And he's like, man, me and Debbie have been convinced for the last year and a half that January 6th was really Trump's fault and that he incited this. And I'm just like, even people that are on our side, that are conservatives, they think they're conservatives, they're just still dumbed down to mainstream media. So we're still reaching people. That's my neighbor, man, a good buddy of mine, but we don't talk politics. I never have talked politics with him because I didn't know which way he leaned. That's just not what we talk about. We talk about our chickens and our horse and our cows and our yards and so. But when he said something to me, we were just talking in the backyard back by the chicken coop, and he said something about January 6th being an insurrection and how he would never vote for Trump again. And I was just like, wow, okay, so I've got to seriously red pill you right now, Gordy. I can't listen to this. And so I'm like, we're friends, man, and you're watching too much fucking Fox and CNN. So.
Yeah.
Like, here's what happened. And he was like, well, tell me your Instagram channel. So he got on there. Like I said, he called me the next day. And he was like, man, I watched 200 videos that you got on there. And he was like, wow. And I was like, yeah, Gordy, but go ahead.
Hold on. The Colin guy in the chat. Now I know damn well, I know who you are now. This dude comes into my chat all the time and he just fucks with me. And I go back and forth with him. We insult each other a lot, but yeah. I know who you are now. There's only a few places I posted that I was going to be here. But yeah. All right.
All right. Well, what's up?
Let's go ahead and hear this real quick.
All right. Yeah, man. Because listen to what this Resident Chiefs has to say. Oh, of course. Wait, after.
Jake,
come on, dude.
what if I need additional?
I'll tell you what.
In fact, we believe we should be treating
you need to get
responsible
yourself a
gun
Brave
owners
browser
as an example of how every gun owner should behave. I respect the culture and the tradition and the concerns of lawful gun owners. At the same time, the Second Amendment, like all other rights, is not absolute. It was Justice Scalia who wrote, and I quote, like most rights, the Second Amendment, the rights granted by the Second Amendment are not unlimited. Not unlimited. It never has been. There have always been limitations on what weapons you can own in America.
I'll say it in Spanish so I don't offend too many people.
What bullshit?
All the vatos out on the job, instead of flipping you off, they're like, "Ah, chinga tu madre, vato."
Yeah.
I'm gonna be
Basically, but in Spanish, I think, man.
I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. That is the most absolute amendment in the Bill of Rights we absolutely have. It is the shortest one, shall not be infringed. Now, I know it's going to be a hot take on this, and everybody's going to be like, come on now.
Preach.
Shall not be infringed. The right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed means you can have anything.
Yes.
Including nuclear weapons, because our government has nuclear weapons. Now, is it a good idea for the public to have it? Absolutely not. But we have that right.
No, but you're absolutely right. Anything the government can have and use against me, I should be able to have in my basement if I want it.
I do want an F-16. I would love that. My son can work on it because he is an aviation airman in the Navy right now, so he can help me fix it. I want an F-16.
I'd be okay with that.
Do y'all remember when God, who was it? It was during the Pepsi Points things years ago where they were offering an F-16.
Yes.
And then they had that lawsuit because the dude saved up that many points and then bought it out. And he's like, "I want an F-16." They're like, "Nah, you can't have it, but we'll give you a ride."
Yeah.
That dude's just like, he called their bluff with it. I was like, "Yep, all right."
I'd shine that bad boy up every morning.
Hell yeah. Down the driveway, just washing it down. Wax on, wax off, Mr.
Oh, yeah. Do it all by hand, no machine. All by hand.
Right.
Hell yeah.
I will load up my ordnance, and here we go.
We
The
got
hate of actions and go. Oh my God, I know this one.
Oh, check this out, and listen to what he is saying. Like, I'm gonna play like a couple minutes, but check it out, man. Oh my gosh, listen to how he wording stuff. Come on now, freaking play. There you go.
that's not in real life.
It's important it doesn't happen again, but it's not going to stop it. You have to take action, have to move, have to do something. And so what happened? We began to continue to fight again. Because for a while there were only about 24 of us in the Congress or vice president, or when I was as president, thought anything could be done. We did pass the most meaningful gun safety law in 30 years. We did overcome an unrelenting opposition of the gun lobby, to gun manufacturers, and so many politicians who hide behind the belief that they'll never have to pay a price for their inaction when they oppose common sense gun legislation. And we beat them.
What he said a whole bunch of nothing. He said absolutely nothing. What did he do? He passed a.
He played a Kamala Harris with that.
Oh, dude, it's empty. There are empty words in that. He didn't explain what he did. He didn't explain the laws that he passed.
Yep.
He just throws out a bunch of words and everybody cheers for it because nobody is smart enough to look into the history of what Biden actually did. Biden didn't do anything. He was in the Senate when the Brady bill was passed.
Yes. Yep.
So, and then eventually, I think it was 1994, that bill expired. If that bill had any validity, had any real substance to the country, it would still be enacted today, and I wouldn't have a semi-automatic firearm. I wouldn't have any of the pistols that I have. I wouldn't have the rifles that I have. I wouldn't even have a lever-action firearm. So he didn't do anything.
It did absolutely no good in the 10, 15 years that it was in effect. It did absolutely no good. And so they said, okay, this is a fucking law that's on the books that's not doing any good. It's unconstitutional. Let's take it back off.
Feel-good laws. That's all that is. It's a feel-good law, much like here in Colorado. The magazine ban, you can only have 15 rounds in a magazine. They're trying to get it down to 10, but they don't have the power to pass that because the ironic thing is, as blue as Colorado has become in the last 11 years, in 2012, they passed the law that says that you had a limit on a magazine. That has gone out the window. There's nobody enforcing that law. It was a feel-good law. It did no good except for appease the constituents of the left. That's all it did. The anti-gun people felt they got a little reprieve from it, and now nobody's enforcing it. Nobody cares. And it's much like the Brady bill. Nobody cares.
Let's just be honest. All these things are feel good laws, and the only thing that it does is it makes the law abiding citizen less protected.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because you look at the bump stock law or bump stock Donnie, that thing. You know, you look back at that. Are there bump stocks here? Yes. Do anybody enforce that? No.
Nope.
You're talking about the pistol brace thing that's going on right now. That somehow a pistol, because you put a brace on it, turns into an assault rifle.
Not at all. Not at all, because the barrel length does not change from 6 inches to 18 inches. Just because you're able to hold it a little bit more steady doesn't mean
That's what she said.
The accuracy downrange.
I mean, it's just ridiculous with it, and it literally comes down to how scary the gun looks. And if you want to hit up the thing you were bringing up before there, Josh, I didn't know this existed till he brought it up to me. Apparently, there is an actual phobia of guns.
Yes.
Like, it makes sense because there's a phobia for everything. I mean, there's you can be scared of water. Like, that's the thing that keeps you alive. It makes sense that there is something, but why does this exist? Go ahead, bring that up real quick. Why does this thing exist?
My mom was afraid of guns. My mom had never been around guns until about 6 years ago. And I took my mom to the range the day after Christmas. I bought her a range card for Christmas and took her to the range the day after Christmas. And now we go once a month. And she's good. But she was terrified of guns. She was terrified of boats. They got in a boat accident when she was a kid. Literally, she didn't get on a boat again until Trump was running, and I took her on a Trump parade on my boat. That was what it took for her to get on my boat. And some people just with anxiety, they literally have irrational fears, but this is pretty irrational.
Well, I can understand from the sound of, when the bullet fires, that sound. I can understand that, but just looking at these weapons, just looking at everything, if you're scared of that, open up the insane asylums again. Please.
Exactly. The word is hoplophobia. It's an initial irrational fear of firearms and armament. The term hoplophobia was coined by Colonel Jeff Cooper in 1966. People with hoplophobia often avoid situations where they may come into contact with firearms. This condition can cause a wide range of symptoms, including panic attacks, chest pains, rapid heart rate, and dizziness.
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. What the heck?
Man, if somebody walked in my house right now, they would probably have a heart attack if they suffered from homophobia. Did I say that right?
Homophobia? No. No. Hoplophobia?
Hoplophobia.
There you go.
I thought I had to catch that correctly. I was like, hold up, what? No. If they suffer from homophobia and they walk into your house,
they're definitely having a heart attack.
Oh shit!
So there's just dudes just doing each other in the butt in your place all the time. Is that how it is?
That's where I draw the line.
Get it out! Get it out!
But I don't even care really. Just I don't want to see it.
Yeah, I don't want to see it. I don't want to know about it. It's none of my business.
None of my business either.
I've made friends via TikTok. I've made a lot of friends with gay people who they do a lot of retarded shit sometimes, but I'm still going to be friends with them because they know the deal, and they're actually on our side politically.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. Let's put it this way. What everybody calls the right now is everybody that's not with this woke mob.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are, what your political leanings are, anything like this. If you don't have that chant, if you don't chant the cult mantra that everything is like no guns, trans rights are human rights, men can be women, men can have periods by sticking a V8 popsicle stick up their butt and letting it melt. If you're not behind that, you are far right.
Yeah.
So be it. So be it. I live in a world of reality, not a world of make believe. So if somebody wants to shove something, a blood capsule up their butt and act like they're having a period and they're having menstrual craps, do your thing. I don't want to hear about it. It's none of my business.
What the heck?
Just
man?
leave the kids out of it. That's
Please.
all you do your thing, you do everything. I don't care. I'm not gonna go into your delusions with pronouns. I'm not gonna call you bug demon self. That's not gonna be a thing. I don't care who you are. Just stop with the kids.
Leave the kids alone.
Let them grow up. Let them learn naturally. And when these things come up later on in life, like they're supposed to do, let that come naturally too. There's no reason a kindergartner needs to know that a dude wearing makeup shoves his hang-dang in somebody's face, and you call that education?
No.
What? But yeah.
Wow.
I wonder how mad they would be if I took my 14-year-old son to a strip club where it's just titties and ass. There's no dong. It's all titties and ass. They would be absolutely infuriated by it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look at this. He's grooming his kid to like women. Well, yeah. That's the
the way it's supposed to be.
order of things.
Yeah.
Dude, they say the same thing about Hooters.
Hooters. That's what I was fixing to say. I've been vilified for taking my kid to Hooters before. But,
Those wings are good though.
No, I mean, but hey, you know who pushed for Hooters to be normalized? The left.
The left.
Because I was one of you back in the day, and I fought for that too. So don't sit there and tell me, oh, you don't. I'm not even going to get involved in all that. That's a longer story.
That liberalism has its place, and that's titties and ass. I don't want to. No dong.
Apparently, it's all about dong now because
I don't even like looking at my own.
no.
That's why it goes inside.
Okay, guys.
Wait,
moving on.
Hold up, what?
What's up? It's an innie or outie. I was just joking.
So hold up. He just admitted instead of tucking, he just pushes in.
Did you buy that
A natural
swimsuit?
born woman. A natural born woman.
Okay, there we go.
You
All
didn't
right.
buy that swimsuit from Target, did you?
What?
You didn't buy the swimsuit from Target, did you?
No, it was Walmart.
Oh, Walmart.
You know
What?
Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you seen the swimsuit from Target? We're gonna have to pull that up here in a little bit.
The tuck-friendly one?
Oh, I've heard of it. I have not seen
Well,
it.
bring it up. I've never seen it.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. You said you tuck it, so I'm pushing in.
That wouldn't work. That's yeah. We're not going to go into the specifics.
Yeah.
But
And go ahead. Go ahead, real quick.
yeah, it's just like with everything included. Look, we're looking down the barrel of World War III at this point, and you're telling me you want to take my guns? Our military has been gutted. Our oil reserves have been drained to very, very low. What? Oh, I'm sorry. He bought back 4.6 million barrels of the damn near 500 million barrels he sold off, and we're supposed to praise him for that? We're
saw
sitting
the
at
other day-
less than 30% of our oil reserves, and you want to go to war.
Did you see the other day that Biden admitted that our military's ammunition supply has been depleted because we have sent it to Ukraine?
He said it on
He
TV.
said it loud
Yes.
and clear.
Yeah.
And where do you think they're going to get that ammunition that they're going to need now? They're going to take it from us. They're going to take it from the mom and pop stores that are selling it for us to go and buy, because they're going to have to resupply our military. They have absolutely that's the only way that they can disarm us is by taking away our ammunition. So we'll send our military's ammunition to Ukraine, and then we'll take it from the American citizen, and then we're going to run roughshod on the American citizen because they can't do anything. But they forget that there's people out there like me who have a stockpile of ammunition, and they're screwed.
Do y'all remember when we had that ammunition shortage?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it's still going.
Yep.
Do y'all remember not too long after that they admitted that the IRS spent a lot of money buying up guns and ammunition?
Yep.
500 million rounds.
Yep.
Where do you think that ammunition shortage came from?
Yeah, do you remember when Obama was in office and they bought the several hundred million rounds of hollow points and bullets that they're not even allowed to use?
Yeah.
Right. And then
fucking...
after all that came out, then they're like 87,000 new armed IRS agents. What?
They have to have them to take our money to send to Ukraine. How else are they going to enforce their?
They got to hit it from all angles.
Quit paying the government. They can't afford to even pay their taxes.
Yeah, which I don't. Which lets us, as a matter of fact, leads me to this. I mean, when they talk about gun violence, they say that that guns are the number one cause of death of children, right?
Fentanyl would be the number one cause of
or abortion.
Abortion is way over the line.
Yes,
with that. All right.
Yep. But this is not what CBS News say.
It's a clump of cells, guys. It's not a baby.
Let's hear these. Let's hear these two.
In 2020, guns were the leading cause of death for children in the United States. According to the CDC, more than 5 of every 100,000 kids aged 0 to 19 were killed by a gun. Data shows that number increased sharply in 2019, and early data from 2021 indicates the number is continuing to rise.
Axios healthcare reporter Caitlin Owens joins us now with more on this report. And Caitlin, thank you very much for being with us. Can we break down these numbers further? What exactly do these figures show?
So what we're looking at, the figures you just showed on the screen were a rate, but the total number of children who were killed by guns in 2020 was around 4,300. And the way that breaks down, about 2/3 of those deaths were homicides, about 30% were suicides, and then a handful were either unintentional or undetermined intent. So, that's what we're looking at. I think in the context of today's and this week's discussion, it's important to highlight that mass shootings are a very small fraction of those. But
pay attention. I'm talking to the audience. Pay attention to those numbers. Pay attention to these numbers here.
And her words.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you, Trevor.
They are included in that homicide number, which is, again, about 2/3 of those total deaths.
Yeah, I'm told that domestic violence is part of those numbers. What's causing the rise in firearm deaths for people 19 and younger?
I don't think we know. I certainly don't. What you do see is that there's a rise in overall gun deaths in the U.S. Among all Americans, there was a record number of gun deaths in 2020. And gun sales also went up during the pandemic. So I don't think we can say with any kind of certainty what is the cause of this. But we can just look at trends and say, yeah, these things are all going up together.
Hold up. Gun sales went up in 2020 because of all the fucking riots.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. The summer of love.
The places that the gun sales skyrocketed in were the places that were surrounding the riots.
Yep.
Yeah. Look at California's gun sales in 2020. Yep. How much they went up.
Yep. And check it out here too. It says that suicides accounted for more than half of U.S. gun deaths in 2021.
Yep.
That's crazy. And then the second place comes murder, and then the third comes other.
Yeah, which was police involved shootings. They don't talk about that, right. Where somebody actually put a threat on an officer, and an officer fired around.
I mean,
has
That's what
nothing
started
to do
all
with
that.
this, okay, y'all? Mental health has nothing to do with any of this either.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Not at all.
Mental
Oh, we're gonna
health-
get to that
We can't
next.
talk about that.
Yeah.
Mental health has nothing to do with this, except for the fact that you saw that spike because everybody was locked down.
If
There
we
was
talk
no
about mental
interaction. There was a lot of censorship going on. Nobody could talk to each other.
Sure.
People were fighting over the elections. Families were fucking getting eradicated because they were fighting over who should get jabbed or you shouldn't get jabbed. I don't know why the numbers went up though, honestly.
We were all locked down, and there was a lot of problems with people paying bills, but yet they were driving around in Mercedes Benzes.
Uh-huh.
They were told that they were unessential, that their jobs and their lives didn't matter. Stay
I'm
home.
sorry. Hold on. I was essential that entire time.
Mm-hmm.
What did I get for that?
You got to get up early, had bags under your eyes. That's what I had to deal with.
Yeah,
The only thing that I got was a free, clear interstate.
Those were good days, I'll tell you that. I will admit.
I do
They
miss
got-
the lot because traffic. God, I
They
could go to
got
Fort
extra
Worth
money
for
for
an
not.
hour.
Yeah, they got extra money for not working. Meanwhile, I'm going to work every day, and I still get paid the exact same.
Yep. And a lot of people like me got a stimulus check. We didn't want that stimulus check. I think
No.
I got 3 of them total. I bought firearms and ammunition with them.
Absolutely.
Nobody got hurt by any of my firearms and any of my ammunition. It's still put away to this day.
Your gun
I've gone
never shot anybody on
target
accident?
practicing. Yeah.
It's never left the closet and shot anybody on accident?
Yeah, not at all. Never. And I don't put a lock on them.
They don't grow
Somehow,
feet.
they don't go around shooting people.
Do they drink coffee?
Maybe.
Oh, maybe. Oh, okay.
I
They
do.
don't-
I do leave about a cup left in my pot when I leave for work.
That's probably why they've never shot anybody then. Because
Wait, they don't grow feet
Don't take
and
their coffee
just
away.
go around shooting people.
Sure don't, man. My neighbors are safe, and they know they're safe around me. There ain't nobody coming in my neighborhood and doing the FOFA.
So why does a cocaine baggie in the White House grow feet?
That's a great question, especially
Exactly.
in an area where
Better question is why did
tourists
they
don't go.
why did they quit doing
Why
any
did-
search? Why did they drop it without
No, no, no.
anybody
Well-
being the fall guy?
They
Dude.
found the proof. They found the proof of who was involved in leaving that bag of cocaine there, and they can't
Who's gonna
talk
get
about
fired
that.
for even bringing that bag of cocaine up in the first place.
That
I
sounds
went-
to me
I
like
went
the
deep
Secret
into
Service
this.
is compromised.
I
Oh,
went,
yeah, that's very true.
I went really deep into this
Yeah.
whole thing, and
very
that's kind of why I said something about it. But I went deep into this whole thing. This story has changed so many times; it's pathetic. The
But at least
location
it
has
happened.
changed 4 times. The date has changed 4 times, and now
Yep.
you're gonna sit there and tell me there's no fingerprints? What? Did Michael Jackson's ghost moonwalk into there, grab his crotch, pull out a baggie, and put it in the fucking lockbox?
No, it's Freddie
Bro.
Mercury.
There's no
Capitol-
fingerprints, dude.
The Capitol on J6, they've literally been able to fucking identify thousands of people that were at that building. At the Capitol. We're not talking about the White House, which is
Yeah.
much safer than the Capitol.
Yeah.
There's thousands of people by video at the Capitol. There's thousands of fucking cameras there. You're telling me that they, within 30 minutes, that they couldn't have pulled camera footage up and be like, oh, this is Hunter Biden's. Y'all don't need to put this on the news. Like, they knew. I mean, somebody's going to get fired. I can guarantee you that. If
I hope
not,
so.
accidentally hang themselves one night, you know?
Well, you've heard the rumors, and it's just a rumor. There's been no way of substantiating it, but the rumor is Hunter Biden is living at the White House.
Yes,
So
because he wants to avoid the baby mama drama.
yeah, and there's absolute proof
What?
via
He's
the
squatting?
laptop that he's got a drug problem.
Yeah.
Wow.
Honestly,
I mean,
man,
the dude was on crack when he got his gun in the first place,
Okay.
and then his girlfriend threw it in a dumpster across the street from a school.
Now, get this, what you just brought up. So I picked up a new firearm today, and when I did my background check, Colorado Bureau of Investigation, who is a federal level agency, but is not the federal government, is still a state agency, performs my background check. They have added new questions to the background check. One says, are you purchasing this firearm for the purposes of disposal? Am I going to take this firearm and throw it in a dumpster outside of a fucking bar? Nope. Sorry about the language, but they're asking that question now. And I don't know if that's the case in any other state, but they are asking, are you purchasing this firearm for the purposes of disposal?
I mean, number one, who's going to answer yes if you're doing that in the first place? Or, yeah, who's going to answer yes if that's your intention in the first place? But number two, if you're going to spend that amount of money, I'm not going to get rid of it.
Not at all.
I don't even care if the gun's $200.
Yeah, I spent well, I had it on layaway because I don't just have $1,000 to drop on anything that I want to like that. But you know, I paid it off, got it out, paid for the background check, which is $10 in the state, and they're actually asking that question, and it took a while for me to pay off this firearm. There's no way I'm going to throw it in a dumpster or allow my girlfriend to throw it in a dumpster because I'm not in the right state of mind. I will always be in the right state of mind, so it's not getting thrown away. But to add that question onto the background check, the federal background check, to purchase a firearm, threw up a bunch of red flags for me. Now, I didn't say anything because I wanted to walk out with my rifle. But that's a question that they're actually asking here in the state of Colorado.
And do we know why?
Well, it's only an assumption. The only assumption I have is because of Hunter Biden and all of his BS.
Come on, look. I know correlation doesn't equal causation, but 2 + 2 is 4.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
It's just like everything that's happened with this whole situation. Like, this dude literally, it wasn't a deferment. What was it with the gun charge that he did? It was
he did not get charged for that. The deferment was for the tax fraud. So his plea agreement
deposed or something like that.
He would plead guilty to the tax fraud. He would pay all that back. He would spend 2 years of unsupervised probation, and he just has to stay clean and out of trouble for the next 2 years. You really think that anybody, if somebody catches him doing something dumb, like driving 140 miles an hour in a Porsche while smoking crack, you think anybody's going to say anything about that? Probably not, because of who Daddy is.
Yep, exactly.
Yes. They've got him on. What was that? WhatsApp, threatening, basically doing a mob shakedown of a Chinese businessman because he's sitting there with his dad. There are former mob underbosses and captains that are talking about this, going, "We used to do stuff like this."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
dude, no, hold up.
You say that about WhatsApp. I mean, all these people are using all these different fucking apps, Telegram, WhatsApp, thinking that they're secure and safe. But we literally got the president on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Like, you're never secure. You're never safe.
Yep.
All right. Number one, before I get into this point, I want to make another one. Why is the CDC tracking gun deaths?
Thank you.
Center
Man, you beat me to that. Thank you.
Center for Disease Control. You're tracking gun deaths.
Exactly.
Mental health is a disease.
Yes, but guns.
Yeah, but hold on. Mental health has nothing to do with it. These guns are shooting people.
It's a fact.
Only that are doing it, or one of our people that are doing it, kind of situation. No, I'm sorry. If it's one of their people, it's the guns. If it's one of our people, they're just evil neo-Nazi white supremacists.
Exactly.
White supremacists, even though they're Mexican or Asian.
Or black.
Figure that out. Or black.
Yeah.
No, if it's black, it's the fucking SUV that runs down a parade.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking Ford. We got to go against Ford. We got to get Ford. They're the evil ones.
Yeah.
If they're black,
Or
they
no.
literally run
That's what you get for being
everything
a
under
Christian.
the table with
That's
it.
what you get for being a Christian in 2022. You get ran over.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a Christian's time now.
Yeah,
'Cause,
absolutely.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm agnostic, but y'all got it bad right now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
I've always said, it happens for anybody, but I've always said once you bring Christ into your life, you're in for it. You're going to get attacked from every angle, and there's a lot of people who are agnostic like yourself, but not to pound on somebody because it just creates an argument back and forth, and nobody gets anywhere.
Yeah.
But as a Christian, you got to. And the funniest thing is, I see it on all social media apps: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It doesn't matter. Pick one. Non-believers who are wanting to teach Christians the word of God. Like, oh, okay, great. Appreciate your word, man. I'm going to take that into consideration, and I'm going to move on with my life. Have a great day.
Yeah. But all right, Josh, do me a favor. Bring up
What's
my
up?
screen real quick.
All right, give me a second. Let me get off of here. Bring up your screen.
Yeah.
All right. I don't see it right now.
It should be at the bottom. You just have to.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
yeah.
scroll down. There.
Throw it to the studio there.
There you go, bro. Thank you.
All right, yeah. So when you have these conversations with people about these things, you're talking about the Hunter Biden plea deal. This is what they're going to do. Hunter Biden plea. They're not going to go any further than this. Hunter Biden is the son of President Joe Biden. He agreed to plead guilty to 2 misdemeanor tax charges and accept terms that would allow him to avoid prosecution on a separate gun charge. Justice Department has agreed to recommended sentence of probation on 2 accounts, failing to pay taxes in a timely manner for the years 2017-2018. Hunter owed at least $100,000 in federal taxes in 2017 and $100,000 in 2018, but did not pay what was due in the Internal Revenue Service by deadlines. And it goes on again, just talking about the charges, the other 2 about taxes. This is the only one that says anything about any kind of gun charge. But they're not going to catch this. They're not going to look into this. By the way, it still comes from New York Times and the Washington Post, which the Washington Post is just what? But anyway, they're going to continue on to that because that is the only thing that ever says anything about that. And then they're going to focus on the money.
Mm-hmm.
It's just tax charges. What are you talking about?
That's all it is.
Because nobody talks about the gun charge.
Yeah.
Just like if you look through our media right now, you will see that Ray Epps is suing Fox News, but you'll never see that he admits that he might be federally charged, and they told him about it back in May.
Yeah. Who does that? Who tells you, hey, we're going to federally charge you with this? Nobody. Mm-hmm. That's usually a, hey, surprise, finger in your butt.
I mean, that's a good way of doing it. But yeah, it's what was it? I brought this up yesterday. I want to show you guys this real quick. Oh, it's not going to do it. Yeah, there it is. Oh, now they're talking about it. What was it? Yesterday I went through this story. It was 100% right-leaning sources with only Daily Wire, InfoWars, the Western Journal, and Zero Hedge talking about this. But now apparently somehow left-leaning sources are talking about it more. Well, there's more left-leaning sources than anything else. But yesterday alone, like you can go back and look at the Rumble stream. You can go back and look at the YouTube stream. This was only right-leaning sources that were ever talking about this, and the story took off for everybody. Everybody was talking about it through independent media and everything like that. But this dude sits here and admits I'm gonna go ahead and take that off the screen. But this dude, he literally admits. In his deposition, yes, he did say he orchestrated it.
Yeah,
I have the link to that. I have everything from this. Okay, but this dude literally admits in his lawsuit to Fox News that if Tucker Carlson did not paint him as a Fed, Tucker Carlson would hailed him as a hero.
I doubt it.
What?
I doubt that.
Because every single right-leaning source in any way that I have ever seen has said January 6th was bad. But yes, this dude, why are you not talking about him? he's got some shit going on.
Yeah.
Is he a Fed? That's how the whole question started. But now somehow he's going to sue Tucker Carlson because Tucker Carlson called him a Fed, and it's ruining his life.
But then the next day, charges. He's got There's fucking articles on every news site saying how he's being federally charged now.
Yeah. And we never would have known about that had anybody not picked up on actually going through, and I actually knew who it was, but had they not gone through that Daily Wire article where they linked to the lawsuit, read the entire lawsuit, and said red flag, we never would have known. I know who raised the alarm on that one.
Yep.
Because even the Daily Wire's article from the very beginning about it, when they linked it, even the Daily Wire's article wasn't saying at the very beginning he's going to be charged. That was changed within a few hours.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, it was Tucker Carlson is being sued by Ray Epps, and they link it. And then within a few hours, the article changed to be like, hold up. Now, wait, he's saying he's going to be charged?
Oh, so he's
I
not
know the
dead.
person.
Charged? Yeah.
Dude, all right. Hold on. Let me go find it again.
You want to pull up your screen again?
Here in a second.
All right. All right, guys. Okay, we have 9 followers on Rumble. Yeah, thank you for the follows.
Keep going, guys. What are you doing? There's 14 here. 2 likes? Let me refresh just to see. 14 here, 5 likes, and this dude's only got so many. Come on.
Yeah.
What are you doing? All right. But yeah, 6 out of 9. Judge Blast, Alvin Bragg. Now, I'm looking for the little short of this so we don't have to actually go through every bit of this, because this dude covered the entire Proud Boys case. There's like literally 65 days of this. He covered every bit of it. But yeah, this is it. Okay. Present, share screen. All right.
Got it.
Interesting thing that you see here is this fella. Don't you notice him? Ray Epps. Very strange. This guy keeps popping up all over the place. And if you remember, Ray Epps was on the FBI's most wanted list as a violent wanted person, not just
still there.
Jaywalker. He was right in there, standing, according to the government, next to the Proud Boys, watching, hanging out while all of this was going on. Isn't it weird? He just keeps popping up. He was in the Capitol. He was there the night before, saying go into the Capitol. He's got a history of being involved with the Oath Keepers, which is also another group that got charged with crimes. It's very weird. Convicted of crimes related to January 6th. All of these similar indicia. He was deposed in a patty cake game with the January 6th Select Committee, and he is not being charged with anything. And neither are a lot of other people who are very symbolic, very similarly situated to Ray Epps. One interesting thing that you see here is this fella. Don't you
Okay, so that started over. But yeah. All right, go ahead and take it off for quick. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to find another one. And this just gets to me. I have to bring it up pretty much everywhere. Yeah, we went through the whole thing, and yes, there were 50 plus agents in that case alone that were tied to January 6th. 8 of them were in the Proud Boys. The whole group of itself, 8 FBI agents were embedded in the Proud Boys. Let's see, Trump. Which one was it? But yeah, I'll find it here in a second. But yeah, it's just like with all this going on. Let me ask you guys a question while I'm looking this up. Whatever happened at the Las Vegas shooting?
Oh,
yeah.
They buried that.
Yeah.
Because the conspiracy theorists started digging into it, and none of it made any sense. Especially when we listen to the rate of fire. I have AR-15s. I have AR-10s. I don't have any bump stocks on them. I don't have any drop-in triggers that go from 3 pounds to 1.5 pounds. But it doesn't matter whether you have a bump stock on that or not. The rate of fire heard in those videos are absolutely not an AR-15 with a bump stock and a drop-in trigger with a lower poundage for pulling the trigger. That was a fully automatic weapon. What could it be? No idea. Did it shoot a 5.56? Possible, especially the wounds that the victims had. But those were military. Those were directly from the military. Those were directly from the U.S. government. Those were not purchased in a store where somebody like you or I could go and purchase a firearm. The rate of fire is wrong to say that it's an AR-15 with a bump stock. It doesn't make sense. So, because we broke that down, people who actually have knowledge of firearms, we broke that down. They stopped talking about it. They threw it in the garbage. It's never going to see the light of day again.
Disappeared really quick. But that's what sucks. People are so forgetful, man. And then, I mean, it's the media does it. Like, it's their job. But, like, I fucking hang on to every one of these things. And that's what fucking keeps me up at night. That's what makes me make videos. And it's like, because they want you to forget about every fucking thing that happens.
Yep.
And no, I'm not going to forget about it. I'm not going to let it go. I'm going to keep reminding people. And I still remind people about shit Hillary Clinton said 10, 12 years ago. Like, people need to remember.
But her emails.
Yeah. What difference
did I wipe it down?
What difference does it make now? You know what I mean? Talking about Benghazi, when she's talking about all the people that died in Benghazi. Well, what difference does it make now? Like, fuck you.
Yeah,
What
exactly.
difference does it make? You left him to fucking die.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm sorry, I know we're supposed to cut down the cussing, but
no, I said try, man. I know it's gonna happen, brother. I know it's gonna happen, guys.
I can't forget that. I can't let that shit go. Like,
you shouldn't.
It's off that people just forget it, man, and they're just, the mainstream media just does it, and I don't know. It pisses me off. It's aggravating.
Even without knowing about guns or anything, you look at at the Las Vegas thing. None of it really makes sense. Number one, the dude was only there for like 3 or 4 days, so why was he bringing up 25 cases? Are you going to sit there and tell me that these bellhops didn't know that? Hey, I'm here every day. This dude is bringing in 5, 6 things for 3 days of stay because he was well known in that hotel room or in that hotel.
What was he on the 15th or 16th floor? If you're going to bust out a window, the glass is going to hit the ground. There's a lot of people down. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Vegas, but there's a lot of people down there on the strip.
No matter what day it is, there's people on the strip. It don't matter.
Yeah. Somebody's going to see something. So the windows break out. Somebody's saying something before gunfire rains down.
Well, even if the first shot, let's just take into account the first shot was the one that broke the window.
Yeah.
All right. Let's just take that into account and roll with it. If you look this up, this really bothers me deeply. And this is what made me think of this whole thing from, by the end of it, that's when I caught wind of it. And I looked at the pictures. I saw the pictures that they have of the dude that was doing the shooting. And what really struck me is there is a pool of blood everywhere else, but no blood on top of the on top of the casings.
Yep. And also think about it. I'm not a mass shooter, but I'm thinking as the guy who shoots guns. Okay. I break out a window. Why would I break out 2 windows and run 50 feet at least between? Why wouldn't I just stack up all my rifles right where I'm at and just cycle through them? Why do I need to run back and forth from one window to the other?
I mean, none of it really makes sense, dude.
None of it makes sense.
Well, speaking of not making sense either, and here you go, because I want to cover this too.
Okay.
It says here
we derailed. My bad.
No, you're good, bro. You good, bro. Leading cause of death in children age 1 through 4 years: accidents, unintentional injuries, congenital malformations. Thank you. Deformations and chromosomal abnormalities. Assaults. 5 through 9: accidents, cancer, assaults. children 10 through 14 years, accidents, intentional self-harm, suicide, cancer.
Nothing about assaults.
Nothing about a firearm.
Exactly. And notice the age. They didn't go all the way 0 through 19, did they? No. Because last thing I remember, you're an adult when you're 18.
Yep.
Well, it's not even only that. I mean, most kids, even like gun or gang violence, is technically a mass shooting. It's like what now? They raised it up to 4.
Yeah.
Four people at least injured in a shooting is now a mass shooting at this point.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if they die.
Yep.
So gang violence.
Yep.
You got these people that are running around just randomly shooting, like we've seen in videos during the riots and everything, where the cops are literally running through the street shooting at other people. The people that they're shooting at is randomly shooting in every direction. Do you think in that kind of situation, if anything like that were to happen, 4 people don't get hit? You gotta suck at aiming.
Really suck at aiming.
Terrible.
They're doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ain't hitting nothing with that, number one. Let's just be honest. You're throwing bullets praying. It's a spray and pray situation with that kind of thing. Even with a pistol, that's the way it goes until they're out of bullets because they don't know how to count and control themselves to understand next fire, reload. So they're doing these things. And they're doing it with a lot of people. So yes, 4 or more are going to get hit. Even children. So that actually counts in the gun deaths because places like New York say you can't have a firearm to fire back at these people that do this because they don't care about the law. And I'm putting it nicely.
No, you're good.
They don't care about the law. Do y'all remember the shopping cart killer or the duffel bag killer in New York? These people were going, both of them were going around killing people, chopping up bodies, throwing them in shopping carts and duffel bags, and just leaving them places.
Yep.
What?
If those people that got chopped up had a gun, it would have been game over. Never would have happened. Because there ain't no way I'm going to let somebody walk up to me, start attacking me, chop me up without firing off a few rounds.
Exactly.
Even then, they're going to get scared at the gunfire, knowing that everybody's going to look in that direction and police are coming. They're going to run off.
Yep.
So when you sit there and you talk about these things, the shopping cart killer, the duffel bag killer, I don't know if they're one and the same or whatever. I have yet to actually follow up on that kind of situation. But you got the guy in the subway in New York. Do y'all remember that situation?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the dude.
2 first names.
No, I'm not talking about the Marine. You know, with the chokeout situation that just
happened. People off and as the train was coming, he was just pushing them off onto the tracks.
No.
Well, no, that's like actually 25 people. But I'm talking about the one where the dude walked into the train and he was a black dude, big black dude that started just shooting people.
Yep. Exactly. Yep.
You think for a second, especially in a train like that situation, you think for a second if any one of us had a weapon on us and that dude started doing that, there would be 1, maybe 2 casualties, maybe 3 if we suck.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yet there were 10 on that alone.
Yep.
Because nobody could do anything. Women are getting assaulted. They're getting abused on these trains. I'm being nice. I don't know exactly where you are, if we're just on Rumble only or YouTube or whatever like that.
All three.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to play nice. These women are getting abused on these, like, in a forceful way. And nobody's doing anything. Why? Because number one, they don't have a way to defend themselves. Number two, well, it brings up the whole feminist thing, but we're not going to get into that. But if anybody were to have a gun on them and all they have to do is just pull it out and hey, stop, it wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm. And here at also going forward real quick, it says the number of murder victims in the United States in 2021 by weapon use And look at handguns are at the top. 6,000.
Yeah.
And 12.
Yep.
Firearms type not stated, 4,740. And knives, 1,000. It just goes, that so they're saying that these assault rifles, look at they're dude, the rifles are 447. Like, are you kidding me? Like, they're
Well, see, here's the thing. Look, shotguns that are 152. Okay,
Right.
If you're shooting somebody with a shotgun, it's a personal situation, or they're invading your place, because that is a close quarters weapon.
There is not a breakdown. You're right. There's not a breakdown of why that weapon was used,
right,
to kill that individual.
I'm not going up into a school, or I'm not going. I know this is going to sound incredibly bad. I'm not going up into a school, and I'm definitely not going to a mall there, like you saw in Texas, pulling out a shotgun shooting people.
Yeah.
No, but also these statistics, they include all of the cops that shot people. They include like everything that has been killed with a gun, or everybody that's been killed with a gun. So this isn't all. Yeah, this isn't just murders and shit like that. This is people that pulled a gun out, killed somebody that was entering their house or trying to rob their car.
Right.
And it also includes police statistics or police shootings. So, I mean,
there is a range between defensive use of firearms. Okay, I don't remember the range, but it's like up to 2.3 million a year. I can attest to 3 of those myself. I didn't fire a shot. I had to pull it. I didn't fire a shot. I can attest to 3 of those myself. All 3 of them, did I say anything? Did I report it in any way? No, because it worked. There was no crime committed. So am I going to run to the cops and say, I was scared because somebody wanted to punch me in the face, or I was scared because this dude who I knew wasn't going to pull the trigger just thought he would intimidate me?
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to do that? No.
Nope.
No crime, no harm, no foul. You do you. I don't care that you have a weapon, even though you are violent. I don't care you have a weapon. That is your right. Because if I were to do the same to you, I would expect you to be able to defend yourself, even though you're the biggest piece of shit in society.
100%.
Yeah. Yep. And they even have here weapons types used in mass shootings in the United States between 1982 and April 2023. By number of weapons, handguns are the top of the list. So when they say we're not,
And why is that?
Because it's concealable.
Thank you.
You conceal it, and of course, it's readily available. In Colorado, we have open carry. I don't have a concealed weapons permit. I don't believe that I need it because we have open carry. Now, for some reason, they would change that law. We can't have open carry. Then, of course, I would get a concealed weapons permit. But I don't need that right now. So if I'm in an area where somebody is looking to do something that involves their firearm, they're going to look over, they're going to see me with my firearm. One of 2 things is going to happen. They're either going to change their mind, or I'm going to become the first target on their list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just hold on. Where is that? I got to find the map on this. But I will say this. Gun rights are actually winning in the United States. No matter what you guys think, no matter what you actually feel, gun rights are winning in the United States because of a thing called constitutional carry.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I also believe that the whole United States should be constitutional carry. I mean, none of this
Yes.
concealed crap.
It shouldn't have to decide because it should be federally already. But we shouldn't have to be saying, oh, well, we can do it because it's our fucking right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's in the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
And you take handguns away, then the rifle statistic will go up because I'll be carrying an AK or an AR around with me all the time instead of a pistol, and that's concealed and nobody can see.
Yep.
But if everybody was walking around with an AR and AK showing, and everybody knew that everybody was loaded down, there'd be a lot less shootings.
Oh, absolutely.
Bring this
You're
up
not
real
going to
quick,
walk
Josh.
into a bank or into a movie theater or into anywhere knowing that people are going to shoot you back. Every time one of these shootings happen, it's in a no-gun zone. And
Yes.
They're pussies, and they're going somewhere where there are victims, people that can't do anything else but take a shot. They don't go into Chris Kyle. That was the only one that I've ever heard of into a shooting range and shooting someone. But nobody goes into a shooting range and tries to pull a mass shooting because they know they're going to get shot within the first or second person they shoot, or they pull their gun out and start pointing. They're going to get shot. You don't walk into a police station and do a mass shooting. You don't. You don't do it, man. You go into a church. You go into a school. You go into a movie theater. You go into where people don't have guns, and it's listed outside. There is no guns here. That's why I stated earlier. The schools in my neighborhood, the schools around my county, every single one of them have signs at every entrance in the school that says our staff is armed and they will shoot you. Like, it tells you straight up, like, you come into this school, you don't know which teacher's going to shoot you, but you're going to get shot.
Yep. But I wanted to bring this map up right here, and I will kind of give you a little jab here in a minute, 3 rows. But I wanted to bring this map up right here. Like, half the state, or half the country, literally, permitless carry. That's the green. Half the country is this way right now. The yellow is permit required. Permitlessly carry for residents only in North Dakota. Now, places like New York and everything, you have to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt you need more than self-defense. I get that. But the fact that this map keeps changing, this is 20, this ain't even right now the exact map, because I know Louisiana, Florida, South Carolina all went permitless carry.
Yeah.
But this happened because of the 2020 riots, guys.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest with that.
Yep.
This happened because everybody saw what was going on, and they're like, hold on, these people, like that dude in, God, where was it? I'll take this off my screen here. So
that's why they're pushing for gun control as bad as they are. They know, they see the statistics. The government knows, the powers that be know that more Americans are buying guns and more Americans are not voting on gun restrictions. More people are, liberals even, are buying guns.
Dude, that was the increase that we saw.
Yep. First time gun buyers. That was the huge increase. When I looked at the statistics and made a video on that, it was first time gun buyers that were buying the guns. And it's because they were allowing all this shit to happen in all these cities, and people were getting scared. And they said, that's not coming to my house. I will defend my family. And people were going out, they were getting training, they were learning how to shoot their guns. It was all for it, man. I mean,
sorry, there was a moth in here, but yeah, you are 100% correct with all that. It is these first time buyers, because these were the people that were literally like, no guns, no guns, no guns, and all this rioting and happened. All the spike in crime across the country happened.
They were lined up, man. There was videos of people lined up at gun stores, man. You're talking 20 people outside the door when the store opens trying to buy a gun, like in California. Like,
and these are the places, the places we saw the increase in first time gun owners, the places that we saw the biggest increase in I just
California, Washington, Oregon.
Right. The places we saw the biggest increase in gun sales were the places with the worst gun crimes or gun laws we have. There ain't a damn blip other than random BS. There ain't a blip on most southern maps except for big cities like Dallas, like Atlanta, where things have gone down. That's the only time you see that huge increase when you break it down further than just everything all together. You look at it further, it is the places that rioted, it is the places that vote for these people constantly that saw the biggest increase in guns.
Yep. And I'm sorry, you know, I mean, this government says, oh no, we don't want to take the handguns. You know, we don't want to do this. We don't want to do that. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, no, you do, because even Obama in 2015, this article here that, you know, it states, and I really didn't want to, because if you want to know something that triggers me, is this dude right here. I can't stand this dude.
All right. Are we going to listen to something real quick?
Well, no, we're not.
Okay, give me a second. I
Okay,
gotta
go
hit
ahead.
the bathroom. I've been drinking.
All right, do your thing. Yeah, man. So it's it's crazy how, you know, they said that they don't want to limit, but they're limiting the round capacity of certain guns. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean, crap, like we discussed before. I mean, it's just nuts.
You know, the sad part is this is how uneducated even the government is when it comes to firearms.
Mm-hmm.
The number one rifle, the number one firearm that the government is after is the AR-15, the Bushmaster, the semi-automatic rifle, the 5.56, the 223. The government, politicians, and the media would have the people who believe all their nonsense would believe that the 5.56, 223 is the most powerful round out there, and it's nowhere close.
Hell no.
I've got rifles that I can hit a target at 2,200 yards. That's over 1.5 miles away. That is a powerful
Yeah,
rifle.
it is 2246. Yes, 6,000. Yeah. Okay.
That is a very powerful rifle, and I can hit a target at that distance with that rifle with ease.
You've had military training, haven't you?
That's classified.
Yeah, yes, he has. Yeah.
But that is when you compare that rifle, which is a 338 Lapua Magnum, and you compare that to the 5.56 NATO or the 223 Winchester, and if you look a little bit deeper, the U.S. military in 2022 actually signed a contract with Sig Sauer. Sig Sauer is building the new standard issue rifle weapon for Marines and Army. This is it's the XM5. It fires a 6.8 by 49 millimeter, which is comparable to the 277 Fury. The closest thing, which a lot of people think about that, and they think 270. The 270 Winchester, and for some reason, a lot of people call it a Western round. It's not a Western round. It's a hunting round. You can knock down elk and deer with it. I shot an elk with a 270, and I hit him a little bit low, and he got away. I was not thrilled about that, and I started upgrading the firepower that I have. But the U.S. military has the Sig Sauer XM5, which shoots that 277 Fury. Also, the 6.8 by 49, I want to say it is. That round has now officially made the 5.56 antiquated. Whereas, you have politicians in the media telling you that the 5.56, the AR-15, is a military-grade weapon. But it's not. It's a sporting rifle. It's a firearm. We as American citizens, we don't have weapons. The only time it turns into a weapon is when you use it to hurt somebody. You're using it in the commission of a crime.
Yes.
I have firearms in my house. I don't have weapons. And the left always says words mean things. Yeah, they're right. Words have meaning, which means that I don't carry weapons. I carry firearms. So my 5.56 and 223 are very antiquated pieces of shit, and I'm kind of mad about it because I would like an XM5. But they have not released that for civilian purchase as of yet. However, you can buy the 277 Fury and a bolt action rifle.
Well, see, even all that, yeah, okay. I will admit 5.56. It's a pretty awesome round, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
It is that, but in
it
my
has
16-inch barrel, I'm not reaching more than 120 yards with it.
Right, but it has absolutely nothing to do with the depleted uranium fucking rounds. It has absolutely nothing to do with nukes coming from our government, F-16s in the sky, and you want to take away my AR-15 when even the president of the United States says you're going to need nukes and F-15s to take on the government?
Oh, yeah.
I seen an interview earlier with Tucker Carlson and Mike Pence, and Mike Pence was pissed off because we haven't given Ukraine enough of our stuff. We've been promising them this and promising them that, and Tucker was like, "What about Americans? Like, we've got this and this going on," and he was like, "Well, I'm not worried about that. He's like, you're running for the United States president. And he says, well, yeah, but I'm not worried about that. He's worried about Ukraine. Like,
In a lot more words than that, that is exactly what Mike Pence said.
yeah.
In fucking 60 seconds.
He showed where his allegiance lied on January 6th.
Absolutely, he did. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we can actually talk about that on YouTube now, can't we?
Yeah.
Yes, they can. And you can talk about C-19 as well. Although my YouTube channel absolutely
There are some things
destroyed.
hold on, there are some things you can't do. You cannot talk about COVID-19 in any kind of risky kind of situation, like something's happening.
Oh.
You still can't do that. I've taken a hit for that because, like I was bringing up earlier backstage with all the what I got going on. Yeah, you still can't talk about that. You can talk about masks not working. You can talk about everything else. You just can't talk about injuries.
Yeah. You can talk about almost all the stuff that we said back in 2020, 2021 that were conspiracy theories that are all true now, and that you can prove they're true, that you can put on YouTube and show that they were true, but you still can't talk about vaccine injuries. Because
I mean, like I said, you remember when AOC said gas makes you stupid? 6 months later, they're coming for your stoves.
Stoves, man. Yep.
All right. Do you guys believe that that universal background checks will lead to gun confiscation?
No.
Why not?
Because of the thing called private seller. I can buy it. I'm cool. No problem.
Okay.
But if I private sell it to somebody else who can't, yes, I am held responsible for that. But that's how you see the black market with guns. That's how you see everybody running around with these unregistered guns. The criminals. Because every single one of us probably has a weapon registered to us. If it were used, they could track us down.
Absolutely.
But the people that are doing these shootings, the people that are going crazy, except for very few, have unregistered weapons.
You could take away every gun. We could go give every gun to the government tomorrow. Every single one of us. Every 300 and however many million gun owners or people.
Oh, there's over 400 million now.
Okay. And how many gun owners do they say there are? 90 something million with over 400 million guns or some shit. Anyways, we can go give every gun to the government tomorrow, and by Sunday, there's going to be guns out there.
Yep.
I'm telling you, they could burn, they could melt every gun in America. And I have a 5,000 square foot shop downstairs here. I have black pipe, I have iron, I have steel, I have copper, I have lead, I have everything. I'm a plumber. I can go down there and make a gun within about 2 hours out of random shit that I have in my shop.
When shit hits the fan, I'm heading to you.
I'm just saying, like, without having a blacksmith shop, without having a gun shop, I can go down there and make something within about 2 hours. It may not be advanced, it may not be semi-automatic, but I'm going to make something that's going to shoot. I can make something that'll shoot a 12 gauge round. I can make something that'll shoot a 9mm or 22. It doesn't matter. Like, I can make a gun, and I'm not the only redneck that can make a gun. Like, you're never going to get rid of guns. You're never going to get you're never going to get rid of evil, and that's what's behind all this shit is evil. It's not guns, it's not knives, it's not cars, it's not spoons, forks. It's none of that shit. It's evil, man. We have evil hearts. We have mental freaking health problem, and nobody wants to admit to what's really going on. We have 23 veterans a day killing themselves right now.
Yep.
Like, because our government treats them like shit and won't give them the help that they need.
Dude,
like,
do y'all remember when they had those the military people walk in for protection on for DC, and I forget the exact story with this, but they had them literally camped up in a parking lot or a parking garage.
No, that was after January 6th.
Yeah,
because Nancy Pelosi was still frightened to death that we insurrectionists, the people who want answers from the 2020 election, we're going to storm the Capitol and kill all the politicians, all the representatives. So yeah, there were National Guardsmen and there were reservists that were sleeping in the parking lot, in the parking garage. They weren't being given hotels. They weren't being given accommodations. They weren't being fed. These people were absolutely treated like animals, and they had to sit back and take it.
Yeah, they literally were sleeping in a parking garage. They didn't give a shit about them, man. They don't care nothing about them. They brought 3,000 people in from all over the freaking country and put them in parking garages and treat them like shit, man. While illegals all over the country are being put up in hotels and given cell phones and given money cards, and like, our government sucks, and they don't care about state people. They care about illegals. They care about other countries. They don't care about us.
What happened to Josh?
He quit his own podcast.
He probably hit the head. But you know, I asked people after January 6th, I started asking people, are you a loyalist or are you a patriot? And a lot of it'll blow you away how people don't understand the difference between a loyalist and a patriot. Back when the Revolutionary War started, we had loyalists and we had patriots.
Hold up, don't bring this up.
Were the people who would bow down to King George III and do everything that Great Britain told them. And then you had the patriots, the people who stood up and declared in one voice that we're an American nation. And today, we see the same problem. We see loyalists and we see patriots. And you can pick out a loyalist. They're the ones who tell you you should wear a mask, you should be wearing, or you should get the jab. You should be paying more in taxes. The rich should be paying their fair share in taxes. That's a loyalist. A patriot says, I want... Say again?
Well, I said all these actors, actresses, all these fucking people that go on and vote for Joe Biden, they're all loyalists, because everybody that gets on there, how could you get on there and defend anything that Joe Biden says? You can't even understand what the hell he said. How
he doesn't even understand what he's saying.
Drew and not a shot at a fucking pressure. What the fuck was that?
Seriously, but you can't. How can you defend it if you can't even understand it? But they're loyal. You just said they're loyalists. They are loyal to the party. They're loyal to the blue, and that's all that matters. They don't give a shit who they put there. We're voting for them. Thank you. Good night.
The vote blue, no matter who.
Yeah. All right, Josh. No matter what, it's been 2 hours in, so
okay.
Gloves off, brother.
All right, no, you're good.
Even if you want to, hey, how about this? You're on Rumble, right?
Yep, I'm here.
We'll start doing this. Everybody that's on YouTube right now, post that Rumble link into the YouTube chat.
All right.
I'm going to teach you something. Everybody that's on YouTube and every other platform right now, you follow this link to Rumble if you want to keep going with this, because we're about to get deep.
Oh, deep. All right.
And I don't want to ruin Josh's channel. So y'all head over to Rumble where we can do this, and I'm going to show you some shit.
All right. Okay. Do we do it? Count? I mean, I don't even know how to do this, bro.
All right. Copy your link to YouTube, put it in the chat for everybody to see.
Okay.
All right. Now, God, I can't see it right now because I don't have my interface. But yeah, at the very top, you see where you're streaming to, close to the end broadcast button.
Yeah.
All right, so you want to click on everything but your Rumble, where you're streaming to Rumble.
Yep.
And click, I think it's delete or something like that, or edit. Yeah, something like that. You click them individually, click OK, go back and forth with that, and we'll cut to everything but Rumble. Remember Rumble.
Yep. No, I got you.
You mean cut from?
Yeah, well, I mean, we will cut from. Like, YouTube's going to go down, Twitch, everything else you're running with will go down, but Rumble, y'all make sure you follow that link, because you're going to want to see this.
All right, go ahead, y'all.
All right, we're on Rumble only.
3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2.